for tuning in to a Very Suspect podcast. Here's Luis and Glenn.
Hello.
Hello.
How are you?
Good. So this is going to be the very first of the Suspect podcasts. And we're going to reminisce about all kinds of stuff, I imagine, because this is the very final day that we are here. Actually, yesterday was the final day, and we're about to be kicked out any time now. So
Hard to believe. It just seemed like 25 and a half years ago that we opened.
Yeah.
Or was it yesterday? No, it was 25 and a half years ago.
I know. Well, you were talking about the beginnings of it. I thought you were part of the inception of it.
No, I was not part of the inception. It was you and Todd. You had the idea, and I came to you at Simply Delicious because I had a failed project at the CBC, and you pitched me the idea of a film festival, but you program it only with the films you like, and I thought, oh, that'd be interesting. So I got my brother, you got your dad, they funded us, and we started in, I think, May, and they gave us a couple of free months rent, and then we opened August 3rd, 1991.
Yeah, we didn't know what we were doing. With Gunnar Hansen.
With Gunnar Hansen, yeah.
On the very first day. You were here the very first day.
Very first day. And the first day, we did $170-something, and we said, this is really cool, you know, we're doing something we really like, and we're going to make money at it, and then the next 4 weeks, were awful.
Yeah,
we're
terrible.
Like $20, $30, $40 a day. It's like, geez, I could drive cab for more than that. So,
backwards.
Yeah, backwards.
Yeah. But, yeah, you were kind of...
No one remembers what day of the week it was, though, right?
No, I thought it was a Saturday.
I thought it was a Saturday.
Was it a Saturday?
I thought it was a Saturday.
Why, you think it was a Friday?
I thought it was a weekday.
I don't think so. I think you waited to open on a weekend. Why wouldn't you open on a Saturday? You want people to come in the afternoon
I remember
for an autograph session.
There were people in here, though, right? Were you in here?
Yeah.
Like at the time when we... Because it's like, well, okay, so what should we do? And somebody said, just open the damn doors. So,
yeah,
that was the opening, you know?
Yeah.
And I remember he was here for the afternoon. So why would you do that on a weekday? I think it was a Saturday.
Yeah, it must have been a Saturday. Well...
No, I maybe closer to the weekend. I thought it was like a Thursday.
Well, maybe it was a Friday night.
No, I think it wasn't it was a Thursday, I think, because...
I don't know. It seems like a Saturday to me.
Because we easily got into Southern accent.
We need to talk to Dave Shaw. He could confirm all this. He's got it written down in his logbook. He'd know exactly the day. You know?
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Oh, well.
So, yeah, and...
I was so tired.
We were so tired, and I was exhausted, and what I do remember is that for the next couple of months I was getting worried. I was getting really worried because our funds were getting low.
Yeah.
And I do remember I was home, I was sick, I had the flu, and you phoned me, and this was in November, and we were like close to the edge, like it's time to sell off and everything. And you said how much we did. We did a really good day, and it was for a couple days straight. And I remember sitting on the stairs. I was really sick, and I had like the fever and everything. I thought, this might work.
Yeah.
This might work. So
that was the fever talking.
That was the fever talking.
So who brought Gunnar Hansen in anyways? How did that happen? How did he end up being opening day guest?
It was Julian Grant. I don't know how we got connected with Julian Grant.
Was it through the Beef Festival at that time? Probably Rob Salem and Julian Grant were doing the Beef Festival, right? Maybe that was the connection.
No, it was independent of that.
Was it?
But was it Solomos or something?
Why would he have a connection?
I have
no. I think you're right. I think Steve Solomos did have some connection to that. So,
to Gunnar Hansen?
Yes.
Seems weird.
Yeah. So he's
not a guy who does the comic conventions, Rob Gunnar Hansen. So.
No, but he suggested it, and we thought, well, fuck, how can we say no to that? Plus, I remember that we thought, it'll give us an imposed deadline, right? Like, if we say yes, then we've got to open.
We have to open, because we were, like, near the end, we were just sort of, what do we do now? It's like, we had all the, we could talk about the fact that we went to a guy who made plastic shelving units, and we tried to make the store look like the Nostromo in Alien. which didn't work.
No.
Sticking with the first day, I would rather talk about how you pansies didn't come out with me and Dave Shaw and Julian Grant to go take Gunnar Hansen to the strip joints. That was a fun experience.
Yeah, I was too tired.
You had the dinner. Right?
Yeah.
That was at Southern Accent.
Mm-hmm.
And then, you were there? You were there?
I was there for the dinner, wasn't I? I feel like I was there with Dave.
I know. I think Dave Watt was there, and Carol was there.
Yeah.
You know that.
And everybody dispersed except for, I guess, me, Dave Shaw, and Julian Grant that still wanted to do something with Gunnar, show him a bit of the city. So
we were up to 3 days straight. So we
But then we ended up at the Brass Rail, right? And he had a great time. Because as Gunnar Hansen said, we don't have nothing like this in Wisconsin. They have pasty laws in Wisconsin, he said. So he couldn't believe what he was seeing inside of that place. So, so that was a good experience.
And he remembered it. I told you that.
Years later at the Fan Expo.
No, it was Niagara Falls.
Oh, okay.
And I thought I've got to do it because he's there, and it's a good thing that I did do it because he died a couple of years afterwards. But I went up to him and I said, "You probably don't remember this, but you know, like you were the guest on the opening day of my store in Toronto, and you were there with Julian Grant and everything, and he remembered everything. He remembered going to the Cajun restaurant. And he asked how you were doing by name. How's Glenn?" And I thought, "Oh my God, he does remember." Well, and he remembered going to the strip club.
Although I think that might have been maybe because earlier than that, he came to Toronto for a Fan Expo, maybe about 12 years ago, 2005, 6, one of the earlier ones.
Oh, yeah.
And Dave Shaw talked to him that thing and kind of rekindled all those stories again. So maybe that's why he remembered it. Because he couldn't remember my name at that point. He said, "How did so-and-so, what's his name, do with that stripper girl?" And Dave goes, "He bombed out." Tyler Trash. Tyler Trash, exactly. Trash. That was her name. She was a stripper at the Brass Rail. She was dancing for Gunnar, and I ended up leaving with her.
Dancing for Gunnar.
Oh, really?
And that went nowhere.
Well, really,
sorry to hear that.
You know, if parents name your daughter Tyler Trash.
Tyler Trash. That was the days when you'd go to a strip joint and the girls on stage were dancing to Nine Inch Nails, Ministry, because she was dancing to Head Like a Hole and Thieves by Ministry. It was pretty ridiculous. You know?
Yeah.
And Gunnar was loving it because the girls swarmed on the table when the DJ said, "We got the original Leatherface in the house tonight." And the DJ asked him, "Was that the first or the second?" He's like, "The first, of course." So, yeah, that's Gunnar. You know? And he was loving it. When there was about 6, 7, 8 girls all around him climbing on the table in front of him, he couldn't believe it. You know?
Really?
He probably had a better time with that than he did with the signing in the dinner.
This is the first time I heard that.
Oh, really?
I knew about the Brass Rail, but I didn't know that they announced it.
It was fun. It was damn fun. Well, that was Julian Grant's doing. Julian, when we walked in, went up to the DJ and specifically said, "That's Gunnar Hansen. Leatherface from the original Texas Chainsaw."
He's probably expecting free drinks.
Probably.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, Julian was having a good time there. I think he was already pretty drunk by that point anyways.
Yeah, well, he ordered.
He was making a lot of weird
fucking restaurant.
Yeah.
He was making a lot of weird sounds too, as I remember, inside the strip joint. He was making some weird whistle kind of thing he was doing. I can't even duplicate it now, but I remember.
You know what you want to.
Yeah.
It was a strange one. It was interesting, but no, that's really what I remember the first day more than anything else.
Yeah.
Although I am number 22. I am member number 22. I know that.
Yeah.
I was 1 and you were 2 and Steve Solomon was 3 and
I know Dave Shaw's 23. He was right after me. So,
yeah.
We did like I think about 70 or 80 memberships the first day.
Yeah, there was a bunch. It was pretty successful, you know. But yeah, it really tailed off.
It tanked, and certainly the laws of economics came into play because it's like you have to have a groundswell of people before it kicks in, and you have to have this reputation. And finally, in late November, that's when it started, just before Christmas, it started kicking in. And then the following year, it's like there were lineups to get memberships that were so long. Friday nights, remember that? They were insane.
Yeah.
They were insane. And Saturday nights.
And it was through word of mouth because we didn't really advertise or anything. We always wanted to buy stuff instead of spending money on advertising. We kind of figured that, the more stuff you had, the more interesting it was. And, the more stuff that we wanted to see, too.
Yep.
Like everything we picked because it was...
It was really bad B films.
But interesting garbage.
Yeah, I mean, people would look at it and say, "Oh, well, I've never heard of that." And, so they'd watch it and they go, "Oh, that's why I've never heard of it." Because it didn't... it was kind of, pure personality that kept it going. And because people would tell other people about it. I remember one of my
fondest memories was I was, putting tags out or something, and someone was here with somebody, and they said that they were supposed to meet their friend here, and I thought, you're meeting somebody here? This is your destination point? I don't know, for some reason that really kind of,
You told me at one point, early on, that we had groupies. I was like,
I did?
Yeah, you said there were suspect groupies. And I said, what the hell's a suspect groupie? So I don't know who they were, and I never...
Blowjobs for free rentals.
Yeah, right.
Not that I'm aware of.
Yeah.
But, yeah, no, I mean, people really gravitated to it. And, it was described as kind of the internet before the internet. And I guess that's because, every video that we heard of, we would seek out and get, through Film Thread Video Guide and ordering catalogs and going to the States at conventions. We did.
I mean, one of our big things was Fact Sheet 5.
Yeah.
I mean, all these magazines, like I think our best-selling, I left after 2003, but our best-selling magazine up to that point was Teenage Gang Devs.
Yeah.
Which was a photocopied piece of bunch of papers that were stapled together.
I don't know, would that have been doing better than Psychotronic and things like that? You would think those would be
no,
really well too? And Fact Sheet 5 and Film Threat, Film Threat Video Guide, all that stuff was happening.
Well, and then we started ordering, lots of different stuff, like Murder Can Be Fun. Oh, what else? Videos.
The music thing from New York. What was it called?
European Trash Cinema, all that stuff.
There was
Shock Cinema. What was that 3 o'clock? Was that yours? 3 o'clock Welch or whatever the hell.
Oh,
3 minutes.
3 minutes.
Well, that's a one-off. Though.
Yeah, well, I did a couple, but there was
the Harvey Keitel thing you did.
Yeah.
That Harvey Keitel found out about.
Well, I gave it to him.
Oh, did he?
He signed my copy right in front of me.
So,
And the Jonestown thing. Remember, you had
a release party here for that.
Release party with Kool-Aid.
Yeah.
Don't you remember that?
No.
Yeah.
I thought a guy was going to murder me when he came in and said, I had family in Guyana at that time, and I thought, uh-oh, he's going to tell me that they were murdered. And he's like, no. He goes, yeah, that whole thing was really corrupt. And
really,
they went on to say that he had family living there at the time, and they remember when it all happened, and it was like, it wasn't a good thing. So government was covering it up.
There's a lot of weird stuff about it.
Yeah,
with all those government guys showing up, and that's why the conspiracy theories.
I don't know if I sold many copies that day. Maybe a couple, but whatever. It was.
But you probably gave away a lot of drinks.
Probably.
Yeah. There was alcohol, and it would have been better. So.
Yeah, exactly.
I should have poisoned for authenticity.
Yeah.
Not to the point that it kills you, but just enough that it makes you throw up and shit yourself.
I've got the run.
Yeah, exactly.
What do you expect?
Why not?
Yeah.
You shouldn't drink the Kool-Aid. You should learn one lesson from this: it's don't drink the Kool-Aid.
Whatever doesn't make you stronger kills you. So.
Yeah, that was fun. Yeah. Getting the zines was great. Like that's something that doesn't really exist, at least not to that degree.
No.
Even stuff like Ben is Dead, and I don't know.
There were so
many.
I remember I was the one that got the film threats, and I was living with my old schoolmate Benoit and his girlfriend at the time, Aldinas, and I came home one time, and Aldinas said some guy came out of a van, and he had this giant box, and the box was sitting on the counter in the kitchen, and he had this giant box. He's like looking around. It's like, here, this is do I live there? And it's like, yeah, and then here, and she had to take it in. It's like, what's in it?
Yeah.
I don't know.
And then, of course...
like hundreds of film
What was the other one I was going to say? All the local ones. You carried Trash Compactor. You probably carried Kill Baby and Panicles and all those. All the things that were done locally.
I don't know if they were really around.
Cameron Scholes, you carried that. All that stuff was around in the 90s.
Yeah.
And then, of course, there was international ones like Asian Trash Cinema and Echo and Dreadful Pleasures. I remember getting all these things here.
Yeah. Well, Dreadful Pleasures, I remember I got at Chiller.
Oh, okay. And that's where that came from. But I remember having it.
Which was a great place to get zines,
Echo definitely you were getting for a while. I remember those being here.
We never got any of the models from Chiller though. That I thought would have been great, but I guess the ceramic models.
Oh, the resin stuff.
Yeah, the resin stuff. That was like fantasy stuff. I thought I would have got, but it was really expensive.
What about all the Fantago stuff in the 90s? You must have carried all that Chaz Ballon type stuff.
A little bit. I think he was kind of done pretty much by then.
Even in the early 90s, there wasn't those? Yeah, maybe other than the odd book collection that would have came out from Fantago. Yeah.
Well, and then we found out about See Here. And so See Here made it easier to order a bunch of zines, because then you're not dealing with everybody individually, right?
Murder Can Be Fun. Was that here?
Yeah,
Oh, yeah, See Here. They sent us. Remember, they sent us a shipment, and it didn't come for months. And they sent it in what's called a U bag, and by train.
Yeah, what a fucking.
And it came like 6 months later.
Yeah, in a bag.
I guess you want the cheap shipping, right? That's what you got.
Yeah,
no, I think they're trying to avoid. I think they're trying to avoid, getting across the border. So
they didn't put it on a donkey and have it walk over.
Well, they were all damaged, like they were all bent to shit.
Yeah,
Yeah.
It
was weird.
Well, the film threats were fine. I mean, the box
that had distribution
was kind of weird, but.
I mean, I preferred Film Threat Video Guide, but you didn't.
No, and I think Psychotronic was better than all of them. So that was
yeah.
And a big seller was Jim Goat's stuff.
Oh, of course.
Oh yeah, Answer Me sold like crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like all of them.
Yeah. Well, especially number 4, was it?
The rape issue.
The rape issue.
Yeah. But the other one sold really well too.
They also well.
Yeah. The serial killer one and.
But it was a more intelligent take on, it wasn't just,
it wasn't just rape.
No.
As opposed
more intelligent take on rape.
As opposed to, what was that? What was that magazine we got from that psychotic in L.A.? Fuck You or Fuck Me or something like that.
I think it was just called Fuck Magazine, wasn't it?
Yeah,
it was that Randall Frank, I think the guy's name was.
Was he the one that did the Frankenstein monster control thing?
No. He was part of that video collection that you guys had.
With Joe Coleman and stuff like that?
Oh, yeah.
What was that stupid thing called? That Mike Dan and everything in it.
Yeah.
You know the one I'm talking about?
Yeah. I do, yeah. Yeah, I can't remember.
It was originally on the VHS, I think, only.
Yeah. I think it was,
Yeah.
But, interesting people putting out wild
at
stuff,
that time.
Yeah.
It was very interesting, and we sold tons of magazines at that point, so it was. But I still think that Teenage Gang Devs. I mean, I think we sold over 500 of these Xerox.
Yeah, that was the Brady Bunch thing.
The Brady Bunch thing.
Yeah.
I think I got a couple of them still.
Brady Bunch.
I still have a couple of them actually that I bought here.
Yeah,
because it wasn't just Brady Bunch. It was Brady Bunch, but it was like teen pop culture of that era. So it would have other related type things too, and then it would even jump to the present with things that harken back to the 70s. Like they'd have an interview with Red Cross, because they loved the Brady Bunch. It covered Sunshine Day, things like that.
Well, that was the cool thing about zines is that they really reflected the personality of the people putting it together, right?
Yeah.
So.
And also in the 90s was sort of the beginnings of the looking back to the 70s. Because you had all that with Dazed and Confused and everything that followed that, all the interest in 70s music and the compilations. Yeah. So the 90s was the return. It's these 20-year cycles, right? By 95, it was all about 75.
Yep. And at the time, I remember we had, this was on our front counter. This was our pen holder. And people wanted to buy this.
3 pens.
Three pens, yeah. People wanted to buy this. Todd made the handmade ball.
Yeah.
Which people wanted to buy. It was just like he tore his Scarborough dinner jackets to pieces.
Made balls.
Made balls out of it, and people wanted to buy $5. I'll give you it.
And obviously, Todd's worth mentioning for other reasons too, because obviously his rentals did really well here.
Apocalypse Poo and Phil's parents' house.
How much did Apocalypse Poo go out?
Yeah, that was the biggest renting.
Must have had 4 or 5 copies of that on tape here over the years.
Yeah, and we would sell it for him too.
Yeah.
He keeps wanting to put it on DVD, but he still hasn't. I don't know why he hasn't. I mean, it's accessible on YouTube and stuff, but.
Licensing.
Well, I don't know. At this point,
I think you're right.
Yeah, but it's not. It's not. I don't think the licensing would matter in it. It's become a different object.
You'd have to kind of put it at low key though.
Maybe. He was always.
You don't want to advertise it too much. Like, by the way, we got the Sex Pistols on here or the Archie's cartoon and everything. It's not going to work. Someone's going to be suing. It's owned by Warner Brothers. It's Pistols, right? So.
Well, for the longest time, he didn't. He kept his name out of it.
Yeah.
He was really worried about it. Yeah.
Who was the first signing we had?
Besides
Gunner?
Yeah. Besides Gunner. I'm sorry. Yeah, besides Gunner.
Was it Dario Argento or Peter Jackson?
I think it's Peter.
I think it was Dario Argento. Dario Argento came in twice, I think.
He came in, I think, twice at Queen Street.
He was
once here though.
Right.
He was once
here.
But I think his first. Well, the first one was here, obviously, because it was early.
Yeah.
But what movie would that have been? That would have been when he was
for Opera.
No, Opera was earlier. Opera was earlier.
Yeah.
It was probably when he came up here with one of the films. No, that's way earlier.
No, not I'm sorry.
No, that would have been a little later. I think it was when he came to Toronto with Michelle Soavi for all those movies like The Church and The Sect, and he was here a lot at that time.
Right.
That was like 91, 2, that kind of era.
Yeah.
I mean, Trauma, it was 94. It's a little later.
Trauma,
maybe he came back for that too.
Yeah.
Right?
He did.
And Peter Jackson would have been also a little later, because that was for Brain Dead. So what year was Brain Dead?
That was for Brain Dead.
Is that 92, 3, something like that? 4? It's something in that area.
Because we because of the timing, we couldn't get people into the signings. I mean, it was just we just couldn't advertise because we found out who we could get like a day or two before we had it.
Well, that was I was always worried about that because I didn't want to kind of have these people in signings and no one shows up.
But that's exactly what happened with Jord Butgereit or Buttergereit, whatever it is. Butgereit, who did Necromantic 1 and 2.
Yeah. And he was here for Shram.
He was here for Shram at
the time. That's right. Yeah. And I remember only one guy came in, and he was so scared to go up to him.
Only one person came
up to me, and he said, "Can you get his autograph for me?" And it's like.
Only one person came?
One person came in. Yep, I remember one person came in. Yep, because he was here for an hour and nobody. It was like a sunny day and
it's a nice guy.
Nice guy. You talk to him like this,
It's like I follow your friend.
But very super nice guy. Everybody's been really really nice when we get them for
except Dario Argento was like people would give him gifts, and I tried to take him back to his hotel when it was on Queen Street. It's like, no, it's my, it was like out of, was it Stir Crazy? The scene where they're in jail and the big guy was like, don't touch my food.
Yeah.
It was like, it was weird.
Well, his English was a little tentative, so it was hard carrying on a conversation.
I just hear Cap, go, hotel.
I remember, I remember, again, he was really, really nice, and he would sign everybody's things. Yeah. But then as soon as a lull was apparent that no one else was going to come, he would just kind of get up and go, okay, Dario, go. and then he's gone.
Peter Jackson was really quiet. That guy was really soft-spoken and really quiet. Yeah. I remember when he arrived in town for this Brain Dead screening, I had set up an interview with him for my zine through the Toronto Film Festival, press office. Yeah. And he had just flown over, that super, super long flight. Yep. And was completely jet lagged, and they had me slotted in literally maybe 45 minutes after he got to the hotel. Oh, yeah. And I was saying to them at one point, well, we can do it a little later. I can even do it tomorrow. And they're like, no, he says go through with it now. So I show up to his hotel room. He looks like hell. He's just kind of but he went through, sat down with me for an hour, answered everything, then gave me tons of stuff. Yep. He gave me poster for Brain Dead, he gave me postcards, he gave me stills, he signed everything. He was super cool. And then he came and did the session, the signing here, a day or two later or something. Yeah. And and I came back for that too. And he was really, really nice guy.
Really nice guy,
super nice. Yep. And again, we only got confirmation a day or two before, and really the only place we could advertise is at the screening, right? You can't get ads into papers with that much, with that little kind of lead into. Yeah. So and there's not even anything for him to sign. Remember, there's no merchandise. There's no Peter Jackson merchandise. So we had to take take the VHS covers and blow them up to 11 by 17. That's right. And someone posted their covers.
Oh, really?
Yeah, on Facebook. They sent it, and, they still have it. They had it on the wall, and they had it signed.
Well, another thing I remember people doing a lot of those autograph sessions is the people who are going to the film festival and buying the programs were getting the page signed for the movie.
Yeah, that's
They would open up to the page of the program to get that signed even, too. Yeah. Right. That makes sense. People did that all through the Toronto Film Festival, right? Yeah.
Well, the festival was a lot easier to deal with the press office.
Oh, for
back
sure.
Then. You could just walk in.
Oh, yeah, they were all very friendly.
I was doing a dingy sheepy little zine, and I'd go in there and say, I'd like to interview this person. They'd set it up, and I'd go and interview them. It was no big deal.
Well, that was kind of the impetus of us doing our zine, because we had easy access to all these people, and we thought, let's give it a shot and stuff. And we produced exactly one giant tome of a zine.
It was 100 pages or so.
We could have, expanded that.
It could have at least been 2 issues anyway.
At least 2, if not 3, But
because it was 80 full-size pages, and then I had the little insert Bruce LaBruce thing, which was another 24 or 28 pages small size.
Well, remember they sent it back. Who was it that
Tower
Records?
Screwed
they screwed us. They sent back all the covers.
Yeah, because if you remember, they ordered 400 for distribution within Tower. We sent them 400, and they sold out of every single one. Right. And then they asked us for another 400, and we thought, okay, well, this is awesome, right? And so we sent them another 400, and didn't hear from them for months. And then we finally asked for them, and they sent up the covers.
Yep.
It was never even stipulated that they could just send up covers. It was a total horseshit.
Well, what can we do? We're us, and they're Tower, so it's like...
But in the early years here, besides the people we named, was there any other autograph sessions here besides Dario and Peter Jackson.
Here?
Yeah, in this location. In say the first 10 years.
And Jorg and
yeah, Jorg was. Who else would have been here?
No, most of them were down at Queen Street actually. After that,
there's just more space and everything.
Mary Warnoff was
Mary
there.
Warnoff, John Cryer.
That changed in the last years here when we had Karen Black here. That was but that was the first autograph session you had here in years, right?
Years, yeah.
I think
down there we had Misty Monday.
Misty Monday.
Yeah.
Mary Warnoff was down at Queen Street, right? Who else was down there then? Was there anyone else? Was there
well, Argento again.
Argento again, yeah. And
we had visitors, a lot of visitors down there.
What you mean?
I remember another one that was here in more recent years. He had that release of that John Oswald DVD thing.
Oh yeah.
He did that thing, release party kind of thing here.
That was funny. He's kind of a bit of an underground
giving away for
legend.
Free, wasn't he?
Yeah. But that evening it was like this crazy snowstorm. Remember that? It was insane, and so really nobody showed up.
Yeah.
Which is too
was
bad.
it a Saturday afternoon too?
I think so.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Because he was famous for Plunderphonics.
Yep.
No, that's what he was famous for. Yeah.
Probably a lot of people don't remember that, but
no, he's covered in that movie Sonic Outlaws too, isn't he? Yeah.
It's important stuff,
Just nobody knows nowadays unless they're of a certain age what that was or who he was.
Yeah, that's true.
Were you down there for Mary Warnoff? Did you get there?
No, I didn't make it. You were down there.
I was down there, and Kate came in with Harry.
Yeah.
And she just I'm not saying anymore.
Harry's the dog.
Harry's the dog.
Yeah.
Harry, and she just played with Harry. So
did anyone show up?
A few people. Yeah, a few people. Yeah.
How about Misty Monday? Did she ever turn out?
She did, because
all the degenerates showed up with their hairy palms.
Well,
where is she? Where is she?
Well, they were, the what is it? Alternative Cinema.
Yeah,
that's the name of the label.
Yeah.
They were down at Fan Expo, and so we kind of talked to them, and they did a signing over at the store, and I think they even gave away DVDs too.
Wow.
But yeah, she was kind of sleepy. And
Sleepy.
very quiet.
Filled up,
Sleepy? I don't know.
Yeah.
Hard to say. But I think we're in supplements of one of Misty Monday's videos.
Wow.
Just tell the story of the guy from Lock Stock. I got the membership.
Well,
I just thought of another person you had.
Who?
Jim Van.
Jim Van Begwer?
Yeah.
He wasn't there for a signing.
Oh, he wasn't there for a signing.
No.
I thought it was a signing on Queen Street that he was there for.
He just kind of showed up.
Yeah. Went over to the Bovine. Was that guy that?
No, he didn't go to the Bovine. He just kind of came down to the store. I think probably Colin told him about it.
Okay, I thought it was a signing.
Yeah. The same thing with Richard Stanley came down there.
Sure.
No, I'm sorry, I was thinking of Richard Stanley. Yeah.
Richard Stanley.
Well, if you're just talking about all the people just wandering the stores over the years.
Yeah.
Came in. I remember the girl who made
I had to babysit. Well, not babysit, but kind of like chauffeur him without sans driving. Gaspar Noé.
One night here.
Little
man. What year was this now? Maybe this is maybe only a few years back. One night, me and Chris were working here, and Don McKellar walks in, and he's with this guy. We don't really know who he is. It's an Asian guy, and he's like, "Oh, I'd like to introduce you to somebody who carries films. This is what's his name." Director of Old Boy, Park Chan-wook, right? Yeah. So he's in town for whatever reason, and Don McKellar's showing him around, and Chris goes, "We got a section for you," and he shows him his all. The guy's like, "Oh," and he takes a picture staying there beside his little card,
Wow.
So he was impressed that we had a section. We're Old Boy, man, come on, he runs like crazy.
Yeah.
Wow.
That was funny. I remember once we had a window display of Miike's films.
Oh yeah.
And someone said, was it Now or? At that time, some journalist, entertainment journalist, said, "Well, Miike has arrived on the scene, considering Suspect has a window display on him." But,
wow! You remember somebody from Mondo 3000 came in and said, this is known, like in the States, the store was known in the States as the best video store in North America. That's what he said, and
wow.
Really?
Yeah, and I went, "Come on, really?" And so when I was in LA, I went to what was supposed to be the best video store there, which I think was called Rocket.
Oh, I was going to say Mondo Video or something. Was a California
Scarecrow was
one.
supposed to be really good too, and Kim's was really good.
Kim's was New York. That was in New York.
Yeah.
Kim's was good. I like Kim's.
Yeah.
But it was more sales than there was a rental.
They had a lot of rental. Like Kim's really. when I visited, because I think there was 3 Kims.
Yeah, there was 3 at one
Yeah,
time.
and one of them was kind of the main building, and I was so
huge
envious
one.
when I went in, because it was 3 stories tall.
Yeah, that's the one. Yeah.
And on the third
That was in St. Mark's
floor,
Place, I think, wasn't it? That one, the big one.
Maybe.
Yeah.
The 3rd floor they rented film equipment, and I thought, this is a great idea, you know, like. And they really serviced the community. But I know some people that have come in who worked at Kim's, and they you know, we were talking about. It's too bad they haven't done a documentary on them, but they were speculating it's because he did so many gray market kind of stuff. He said that that he had like walls of VCRs going.
Really?
Copies of stuff. Yeah. I don't know if I'm supposed to say that, or maybe I'll cut it out. But yeah. That's what they said.
I remember one time in here, too, also in more recent years, the writer Jasper Sharp, who had that book published from Fab on Japanese pink movies, I think it was.
Oh, yeah.
Came into the store because there was some Japanese film festival happening, and they actually brought him up because he was writing so many liner notes for DVDs.
Oh, yeah.
And he came into the store, and somebody introduced us and said, you're stocking his book here. It's right here. And we're like, and it was on that section that we had labeled naughty books for adults.
Oh, yeah.
And he loved that it was there. So the guy who was taking him around took a picture of them standing beside that with the book out, naughty books for adults. He seemed really proud of that, too. So
that's pretty funny.
So, yeah, different people like that would come in. I mean, definitely over the years, people would show up, you know, that were known for one thing or another. I remember that one story. I've seen him in the store, but not this one particular occasion. Weird Al Yankovic.
Yeah.
I remember he came in a couple times.
I was here with you.
Yes.
I think it's the story.
That's the one with Weird Al Yankovic in the store, and then Steve Leckie walks in. So we're like, wow, we got the Nazi dog and Weird Al in the store at the same time.
Right, yeah.
That was pretty interesting.
Yeah, that was a good combo.
Yeah.
That's definitely a good combo. And I mean, over the years, different people had come in. I remember like Sarah Pauli would come in sometimes.
Samuel Jackson used to come in after shooting. I forget which film he was shooting, but.
Rachel McAdams had a membership here, and I remember one time she brought in Ryan Gosling when she was dating him. Carol was very excited.
Yeah.
I remember on the file.
He was listed.
He was the secondary renter on her file. She opened the membership up. I never saw Gosling come in with her, but I saw her come in before. Yeah, because he wasn't here a lot, right? But he would show up occasionally in town, I guess. But who else was there like that? There was that guy, Eric something. He was in that movie Lie With Me that was filmed up here. Do you know what I'm talking about? He was in that biker movie by Larry Bishop called Hell Ride that Tarantino produced.
Yeah.
He was the lead actor in that. He was in town shooting a movie one time, and he was coming in. He opened up a membership because he was here, and all he was running was exploitation.
Oh, yeah.
Because he was doing some of that at that time, and he was just like, he'd want more and more of exploitation films. I'll take some biker, I'll take some blaxploitation, I'll take some women in prison. I remember serving the guy for quite a while, and he'd walk in, and he knew who I was because I was always giving him suggestions. And I just suggest, maybe you should try this one now, like, Let Me Die a Woman or something like that. It's weird.
Yeah.
So, yeah, he was...
I remember 2 women came in one time, and they had a card and it said, Chris Penn wants a membership.
Nah.
I said, who are you? I said, we're friends of Chris Penn. It's like, well, you need a credit card and some form of ID. Well, we have a credit card. So, I tested the card for a lot just to see and it was fine. So I gave them the membership, and it's like, no problem. They'd come in. It's like,
he never showed up, though.
He never did.
Yeah.
They were his entertainment.
His entertainment, yes. Yeah. They were his ponies. So.
Yeah.
Well, Sam Jackson, like you said, was in here a few times, right?
Yeah, a bunch of times.
And Tarantino came in once, right?
At the Queen Street store.
Queen Street store, okay. Yeah. But Sam Jackson was in this location.
Yes.
Not the Queen?
He'd come in on Fridays, and it was really packed. It was busy, and everybody scattered out of his way.
Yeah.
Because he would go to the Hong Kong section.
He was in this area because he was shooting at the corner of Bathurst and Bloor. That's when they were doing the Long Kiss Goodnight. Because I remember one night, me and Dave were up staying in the street there, and he was just out there at the corner. You know where the Taco Bell used to be, and there was that alleyway there? Yeah. That became the holding area for the extras.
Yeah.
And Sam, instead of just like being driven in like Gina Davis was, because I remember we'd see the car pull up, she'd get out, they'd do a scene in the alleyway, and she'd get back in the car and gone. Sam would just hang out, and instead of staying in his own little area, he would walk over to the extras tank. Section, and just go in there and start talking to them, and they were like looking at like, what? You're the star. And I remember one point he was out in the street, and he was just staying there on the street. People were just walking by, and he was wandering around, so me and Dave approached him and started talking to him. And he was just totally cool. He was just like, I don't need security around me. I don't need all this stuff. It's like stupid.
Yeah,
It's
like, super nice.
No.
Here, hold on to that. I'll just have to check the time.
All right.
This is a break.
We'll have to go in like 5 minutes. or so minutes.
There you go.
Do you want to do this again?
We'll get your points that you want to make.
I mean,
we can come in tomorrow if you want.
I don't know if we can.
You can. Nobody's gonna say jack shit. I promise you.
I can come down and kind of see and then call, but I don't know. But we can always do it some other place.
Yeah, but I promise you, they're not going to say jack. I mean, if somebody is allowed to stay on Sunday, till Sunday, one of the pottery places here.
Well, how long has this been going on now? We've been doing this for 35 minutes or something, maybe?
Yeah.
So we didn't even.
Maybe this
we were
could be
sort of like doing our own little.
Maybe this could be part one, and part two doesn't need to be filmed. Part two can just be an audio one.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? It doesn't have to both be filmed. This is part of it.
I mean, you don't have to see us all the time.
No.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Preferably not. Actually.
Preferably not. Yeah.
So that was fun.
Yeah.
There you go.
Wasn't it?
Yeah. Sure.
Yeah.
You're taking this, right?
No. You can take it if you
want.
want.
No, I don't want it.
Yeah.
Okay. You want it?
I don't want it.
Yeah, you're good.
Thanks for listening, if you have listened for all this time. So that was part one, I guess, and we'll be doing part two some other time. But it'll be an ongoing kind of thing.
Yeah, it'll be a
what's your vision of it?
20-part series.
I don't know. I mean, basically, I think every time we do one, I'd be tackling another topic, another subgenre of film or whatever, or just something to do with the kind of pop culture we like, right?
Yeah. I mean, like if you've been in the store or if you know it, you know that, we have pretty varied interests.
Yeah, it doesn't have to just be movies all the time.
No, I mean, it could be music, could be comics, could be, I don't know, whatever, I'm interested in a lot of different stuff, and I know you are.
I do a podcast on monster cereals like Frankenberry and all that.
Yeah.
Hey, I mean, I'm okay with any of these things.
Monster cartoons.
Exactly, anything.
Monster cereals?
Monster cereals.
That's a new one.
Yeah.
It's hardly a new one.
Because you can't get any more premiums, that's now outlawed. You can't get it.
What?
Kids can't get toys in their cereal.
Oh, yeah. Right,
remember there was that cereal zine?
Yeah. What was that thing called even now? Yeah, I remember that cereal zine.
I can't remember what it was. It was pretty cool. I think I picked one up for you at Schiller once.
Not for me.
No?
No. I don't have them.
Yeah. Anyway, that's an aside.
Yeah.
Thanks for listening.
Take care.
See ya.
Thank you for listening. Music is played by Trigger Warning. Check out their Facebook page. Links are in the show notes. A Very Suspect podcast is copyright suspect video. All rights reserved. See you next week.
Into your words, I wonder why you think you're all alone. My silicone faces and your empty home. We could be the ones who keep the earth that burns the way they turn. Forever there's nobody that anyhow. While I'm asleep, I'm dreaming of the way down. But everyone is much too loud. Change it up besides, you think that it's been lost some time ago. Maybe you'll realize you never found the letter